This is a production of WKNO Memphis. Production funding for Sports Files is made possible in part by the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
My guest today on Sports Files is the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, Lionel Hollins. The Grizzlies find themselves down 2-0 to the LA Clippers in their best-of-7 first-round playoff series. Game 3 is taking place at FedEx Forum as we speak. In Game 1, the Grizz were embarrassed by their counterparts, but came back strong in Game 2, only to lose on a last-second off-balance bank shot by Clips superstar guard Chris Paul. To win this series and advance, the Grizz now have to win 4 of the remaining 5 games, a tall order to say the least. But no matter what happens the rest of the way, the biggest question for the team this offseason is arguably the fate of head coach Lionel Hollins. His contract runs out at season's end, and CEO Jason Levian has made no indication on whether or not the organization plans to re-sign the veteran coach. Levian became the CEO and managing partner of the Grizz just prior to the start of the season, and understandably wants ample time to evaluate Hollins. Now, there's no telling what Levian is looking for, or whether or not the Grizz have to advance in the playoffs for Hollins to get a new deal. If the decision was solely based on the regular season, then it's a no-brainer. The team set franchise records for total wins in a season with 56. In addition, they set marks for home and road victories. Today, I go one-on-one with the coach of the Grizzlies, a man who speaks his mind and is not afraid to ruffle some feathers. It's Lionel Hollins on the season, the challenge of beating the Clippers, and his future. Next on Sports Files. Lionel, thank you so much for spending some time with me. Appreciate it. 56 wins for everything that's gone down this season with off the court, on the court, player personnel changes. You have to be very impressed with what this team was able to do.
Well, I'm happy with what we've accomplished. I told them last night, I said, you know, we've overcome a lot of adversity, and we were able to survive and keep going and being strong as it is a testament to your character, to your mental toughness, and your will to want to win. And it's been a hard season. I mean, we started out with Double D's death on the opening day of training camp, and then Kenny Williamson passed away shortly after that, and we'd already dealt with Gene Bartow's death last year.
Right.
And then there was an ownership change, and we had a couple of players who had family members that passed away during the season, and then you know, all the trade rumors swirling around, the trades, and then Mike Hiley having a stroke and going in a coma, and adding all the new players that we added. But I always said that when you go through adversity, it really shows what you're made of, and when you still succeed, it is very gratifying. And the other thing is that everybody has a story, and the people that succeed are talking about what they overcame, and the people that fail are talking about what kept them from being a success. And you know, it's powerful to go and tell what you overcame and still became a success, and I thought we had a very successful season.
With all that said, all the things you brought up, is this the most gratifying coaching season for you, and was it the most challenging as well?
They're all challenging, and I wouldn't say the most gratifying. Every year is gratifying because every year is different. Every year has its own challenges, and you always have adversity that you have to deal with. And you know, we've had injuries in the past,
right? And
we've had to deal with those things. And you know, there's probably, I won't say the most, we had a lot of stuff go on, a lot of different things, and some of it, you know, is out of your control, and you know, you just keep going. But when somebody gets injured and misses the whole season or misses a big part of the season, like we had Zach and Darrell get hurt last year,
right?
You know, that was a lot to overcome. And you know, we've been where Rudy Gay gets hurt just before the trade deadline, and you know, we overcome that. So every year there's something, and it's all gratifying when you overcome and succeed.
You build up this incredible chemistry, especially with the core players, and then lo and behold, mid-season, the trade is made.
And there were a couple of tough games right off the bat with the new players coming in, which is to be expected. But the chemistry you found very quickly with Tayshaun coming in and Austin and Ed. Why did it seem easy? I know it probably wasn't, but to us watching, it seemed like that chemistry came together very quickly.
Well, I think that it's a testament to who they are. Tayshaun, Ed, and Austin are all good kids, and our players took to them right away and embraced them and tried to help them with their learning curve, and they were willing to allow us to coach them and try to help. They didn't come in with egos and say, I need this, I need that. They just fit in wherever they could, and their roles have kept expanding as we've gone along. As I've gotten more comfortable with them, as the players have gotten more comfortable with them, and we understand what they bring to the party a little more, they've contributed more.
The Clippers, first round, team you played last year in the first round and lost a tough 7-game series to them. What makes them such a difficult opponent?
Well, they're very talented. They have one of the best power forwards in the game. They have one of the best point guards in the game, and then they have a lot of role players that are pretty good. I mean, Jamal Crawford has been Sixth Man of the Year before,
right?
And he's a very talented kid. You know, DeAndre Jordan is an up-and-coming center who's long and blocks shots and athletic, runs the court very well. They added Lamar Odom. They added Grant Hill. They have Chauncey Billups, who's won championships. You know, when you start going down the list of players they have a lot of players that have very good resumes, and so talent makes them tough, and their competitive will makes them tough.
And what's interesting is just a year separating the last time you played them in the playoffs, a lot of the cast of characters have changed for them. Some of the role players that were instrumental in helping them beat you last year are gone. So the personnel has changed a bit for them.
Well, that happens every year. That's why I said people talk about, well, you had a losing streak against this team for the last 3. Well, everybody's on here.
Right.
You know, the guys that are here don't know about that, really don't care about it. It is. And it's the same now. You know, every year things change. We have a lot of personnel turnover from last year as well. I think, you know, they went a little quicker. They had Keon Martin and they had Reggie Evans,
right?
Who were two brutes who banged and you know, really were physical with us last year. Both of those guys are gone, but they brought in Lamar Odom, who can play on the perimeter and shoot threes, handle the ball and transition and become another playmaker for their team, as they have enough already. But you know, they add another guy, and so you know, they have the improvement of the players that are remaining. You know, DeAndre Jordan has made significant improvement. So has Blake Griffin, and so they become better just from within and with the additions that they made.
We talked earlier about some of the changes that you guys have made. This is not a change, but the big difference from going into the playoffs last year and this year is it seems like a 100% healthy Zach Randolph as opposed to the situation he was in last year.
Well, of course. I mean, Zach had just come back. I think we had like 6 or 7 games before the season ended, and he was coming off the bench until the last season, and he really wasn't ready strength-wise and conditioning-wise to be what he wanted to be. So, you know, that was a little bit of a glitch in our game plan. But, you know, we had a good year, and it was a tough playoff series, and they earned the win. You know, people talk, well, you blew it 27 if you hadn't done that. Well, we did. That's all part of it. And, you know, we went to L.A. and beat them in L.A., and then we came home and we couldn't win in the 7th game at home. We didn't play particularly well, and they earned the right to move on. And you know, here we are at it again. Contrasting
styles for the most part, but I would think you look at the series as a pretty evenly matched up series.
Well, it's been evenly matched up. You know, even during the season, you know, they've beaten us 3 out of 4 times, but the games have all been relatively close.
Right.
And you know, as they said, the last game they had here, they'd been talking about it for a week, and they wanted that game, and you know, they almost gave it back playing Sacramento the last game of the season, but they overcame it and they got home court advantage.
Do you guys, and I'm sure you're probably not into this, but does the team look at LA as their rival, their main rival? Is it Oklahoma City? Do they even care about something like that, or is that something for the fans?
I don't know who the main rival is. I thought, you know, a couple of years ago it was supposed to be Oklahoma City.
Right.
You know, now it's the Clippers. You know, when you play somebody in the playoffs, it becomes a rivalry for a while. But this one's going to grow because we're going to play them 2 straight years in the playoffs, so it could develop into one.
Lionel, the development of Mike Conley is incredible. We know what he can do on the court. He's become now, seems like more of a scorer. Once the trade was made with Rudy, he's taken big shots down the stretch in close games. But his leadership also, we're seeing the leadership of Mike Conley. Can you talk about his development?
Well, it's all growth and maturity. I mean, when he came in the league, he was a 19-year-old kid, you know, weighed about 165 pounds and
right.
wasn't really ready for the NBA. And, you know, he's matured. He worked on his shooting to become a fabulous shooter. He worked on his defense. He worked on his body. And as he's been around, you get comfortable with the people you're around, and they start allowing you to be yourself and allowing you to lead. And he's stepped up in that area as well.
How can you look back at a season after you put together the season you did, winning 56 games, setting records for home victories, setting records for wins on the road, but if you lose this series, is it a disappointment? Is it still a successful season? How do you look back at it?
Well, losing the series would be disappointing, but it's still a successful season. Every team that goes in is going to lose a playoff series at some point.
Except for one, right?
Except for one. And people have expectations because of your record. And, you know, a few years ago, San Antonio won 61 games. They lost to us in the first round. It happens. You got to go out and win, and it doesn't matter what your record is. It doesn't matter what your seeding is. It doesn't matter about home court advantage. It means, you know, you start out and you get the first 2 games at home, and then you have the 7th game home if it goes 7 games. But it's not a guarantee of winning anything. And too often people say, oh, they got the #1 seed, they're going to win the championship. Doesn't mean that Oklahoma City's going to win the championship having a #1 seed. They got to go through the process just like everybody else.
Exactly. A lot of people around the country, whether it be in the media or just fans in general, are starting to catch on to this Grizzlies team, this grit and grind, this physical team that goes out there and brings their lunch pail and wins basketball games. And you may not care, Lionel, but do you feel you get the credit that you deserve as a team, as a very formidable team?
Well, obviously, media in general, especially the national media, they don't know every team
right.
and what they have. They know the star-studded teams. You know, Oklahoma City with Durant and Westbrook, Miami, Carmelo
Paul
Anthony,
with the Clippers,
Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant with the Lakers, and Howard and Nash. I mean, those guys were anointed a championship in L.A. when the trades were made. But you know, it said you got to go play, and it doesn't matter what people think of you. It's what you think of yourself and what your opponents think of you after they played you. That's really important. You go out there and you make them come and pat you on the butt, win or lose, and let them know that they've been in a dogfight and that you're going to be there every night, and they're going to have to bring their best to beat you. And that's what's important.
Right. This interview is airing during Game 3, and Game 4 coming up this Saturday at FedEx Forum. The home court, the fans, euphoria in Memphis about this team. How important is it? You played the game for a long time, to have that in the background, to hear the cheers for you.
Well, you derive energy from it when you come in. As soon as you come in, and the crowd is all in white, and the towels are swirling, and the crowd is loud, and everything you do is, you know, honored.
Right.
You know, when you go on the road, it's a totally different story. But it's nice to go on the road and you know, make the crowd be quiet. Yeah. So you know, it's a little bit of both.
Exactly.
I think you know, certain players play better when the crowd roars every time they do something well. A bad call, everybody boos. You know, good call, everybody cheers. Somebody getting a 3rd foul, everybody cheers. But the reality is you got to still go out there and play and earn those wins at home or on the road, and the good teams do that. And that's why, you know, looking at our team this year, you know, we won 24 games on the road, and we won 32 games at home. We earned those wins. And when we lost, we earned those losses. Whether we played well or we didn't come out ready or whatever may be the case, we earned those losses and we earned those wins. And when you get to the playoffs, it's the same thing.
Let me take a step back from the matchup and talk about you personally. You've been in this community a long time, and you've done an awful lot for the community. Lionel Hollins Charities is very important to you. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's just something that, you know, being here from the beginning, wanted to get involved in the community. I didn't know the community very well, they didn't know me. I was just an assistant coach. And I started a bowling event. And it has taken off, and it's spawned other events. My role models dinner. We also have a big a gala the night before the bowling event. I started giving away bikes at Christmas time for you know, underserved kids, and we're just trying to grow up. Partnered with FedEx, St. Jude's, St. Jude. I always have to get that right.
Yes, exactly.
And you know, when I was out of basketball, I did some stuff for St. Jude, and now that I'm the head coach, you know, I try to do as much as I can whenever I can for them and help raise money. They're an important cog in our community, and also nationally and internationally, in helping the fight against cancer, and especially childhood cancer. But so it's just trying to do what you feel is right, and it doesn't have to be, you know, have 5,000 people attend.
Right.
It's just going to the community and doing something. And I tell people all the time, you can give back without any money. It's time and passion. You can see older people needing somebody to mow their lawn. You can go mow their lawn. You can see older people that can't get to the store. You can go shopping for them. You can help somebody cross the street. I mean, there's all kinds of ways of giving back. You can organize cleaning vacant lots that's full of glass and trash. You know, all types of things that you can do, and it's important that we help our community stay strong by giving back.
I know that you could coach anywhere in the league. You have proven it. There's not even a question anymore. How much do you want to be back here next season?
Well, as I just told somebody last night, you know, when you lay a foundation and you take it from the beginning stages and you build it up, you want to see it to the fruition. And fruition is winning a championship. Can we do it this year? I don't know, but we're shooting for it. And will we be better next year? Possibly. And why would I want to leave and go and start on the bottom? Because that's usually what happens.
And start over again.
And start over again when I don't have to. I mean, if it came to that, it came to that. But that's not my goal. That's not my intent. My intent and thought process is being here in Memphis and with the group that we have and building on what we've started and ultimately, you know, dancing on Beale Street.
Absolutely. All right, Lionel, we're going to end the interview with 5 for the road. Quick questions, quick answers, first thing that comes to mind. And you can't say the Grizzlies here, your favorite professional franchise, any sport?
New England Patriots.
Wow, okay. But you go basketball somewhere, maybe Portland, maybe Philadelphia, where I remember you playing. How about your favorite professional athlete of all time?
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. Bill Russell, who dissed me for an autograph in 1969, but I won't hold that against him.
Oh, I have his autograph
oh, man, I'm jealous.
on a pair of sneakers that he wore.
Oh, gosh. Favorite music? Musician, genre of music?
I like jazz. I like rhythm and blues. Do I have a favorite musician? I mean, I like a lot of people, but I'll say, you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire off the top of my head.
Very good.
I like all types of artists.
Favorite movie of all time?
There's been a ton of them. I just saw, gosh, what was the movie that I just saw?
Did you see 42?
I saw Argo.
Okay, oh, that's a great movie.
Oh, the Django.
I haven't seen that yet.
The most favorite movie for me is always the next one, but I had to go back to Breakfast at Tiffany's and those types of movies. I love old movies, black and white, that are turned into color.
Well, you got to see 42, though. It is fantastic. Story of Jackie Robinson, of course. And your favorite TV show of all time?
I don't really watch TV, and even when I was young, I had to go back maybe shows like Leave It to Beaver and
you were old school.
Best. I mean, you know, I don't watch much TV. I hate getting into TV and you can't watch it because we play different nights of the week. So
TiVo.
I don't do that too often either.
Hey, Lionel, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Good to see you.
All right.
The Memphis Tigers baseball team is getting ready for the stretch run of the season. They have put together a very impressive year to date, but their fate will be determined over the course of the next month. Last year, the Tigers made an impressive run in the conference tournament, falling in the championship game to UAB. Now, this time around, they're hopeful they can take it one step further, and if not, still have won enough games to receive an at-large bid into the NCAA tournament. The key to the Tigers' success thus far has been the consistency of their starting pitching. St. Benedict product Sam Moll is the Tigers' #1 hurler, and not surprisingly is pitching to rave reviews. But it's fellow area pitching product Eric Schoenrock who has been the team's most pleasant surprise. The former Collierville High School pitcher was a middle reliever last season and has dealt with some back issues. But Schoenrock, who just so happens to be the head coach's son, is 100% healthy and has put together a sensational season. He's 5-3 with an ERA of 2.87, has given up only 48 hits and 22 earned runs in 69 innings pitched. Schoenrock will be a key for the Tigers the rest of the way, and I recently had a chance to chat with the sophomore lefty.
Eric, the obvious question, what's it like playing for your dad?
It's awesome. I mean, coming into college, I didn't really know what to expect, just being around him every day. But it's been awesome so far, and I mean, he treats me like everybody else, so I don't know, it's been awesome.
You have had an outstanding season to date. Last year, you're coming off a back injury, so you didn't pitch as much, but then you went to the Cape Cod League.
Right.
And that was very influential in getting you ready for this season. Talk about what that meant to you pitching up at the Cape Cod League.
You know, I didn't pitch as much as I wanted to last year, obviously, due to the back injury. So going up to the Cape, I was around great players every day, and I just wanted to work hard so I get ready to help our team this year, which I did this past summer. But just being around those great guys every day this summer and seeing what they do to get themselves ready to pitch every day, it was good.
What are your strengths?
I'd say this year it's been a big strike thrower. I can get a strikeout when I need it, but just pitching deep in games and saving our bullpen so far.
3 complete games, which is kind of rare for Memphis Tigers baseball. We see a lot of times going to the pen, but you've been able to go the distance 3 times.
Right. I think what's really helped with that is I've developed a changeup, and it's helped me, get more ground balls and keep my pitch count down, allow me to pitch deeper in games. But just overall, just throwing strikes and just challenging hitters, basically.
This is one of the better staffs we have seen in a long time here in Memphis. Talk about this starting staff for you guys, and kind of leaning on also the #1 guy in the rotation, Sam Moll.
Right, Sam Moll. I watch him pitch every Friday. I keep a chart, so I kind of get an advantage to see how he attacks the hitters on Friday, and I can kind of do the same thing on Saturday if he's having success. And then I know Sunday we're going to get a good start at Alex Gunn, and then our midweek starter, Michael Wills. He's beat Ole Miss twice, and I don't know if it gets to our bullpen, I'm pretty confident with them too. We got a really deep staff, so it's been good so far.
You played your prep ball at Collierville. Jeff Hopkins, Hoppy, the former Memphis Tigers head coach. What was that like? And I know, again, you had a back issue as a junior, so you came back strong from that in your senior year to get ready for college.
Yeah, Coach Hop helped me a lot develop over my 4 years there. I missed my junior year, like you said, but I just worked real hard and tried to come back for a strong senior year, and had a pretty good year, so it was good.
Do you think the back issues are behind you?
Right, I think they are. In the past, I just kind of hoped they wouldn't come back, but now I do, physical therapy every 2 or 3 days just to make sure my back stays strong and ready to go.
As you were making your college decision, obviously here's Memphis and there's your dad as the coach, but there were other opportunities. Did you discuss with him? How did it go? He's obviously recruiting you as a coach, but you're looking at Middle Tennessee and Vanderbilt and other opportunities. Talk about that whole procedure.
Right. He kind of left it all up to the assistant coaches. He took his hand out of it and told me the only rule he had for me was I couldn't go anywhere else in Conference USA. But I'm glad I made the decision to come here because once I took a visit here, I loved it and loved all the people. So I'm happy with my decision.
What about this beautiful field you play on?
It's unbelievable. I've seen over 9 years now since my family's been here the change this place has been through, and it's awesome to see where it is now.
All right, you're a left-hander, so are you quirky? Are you weird? Are you strange?
I'd say I'm a little different. Not too weird like some of the other lefties out there, but I guess I'm a little different.
Do you have superstitions?
Not really. I like to chew gum when I pitch. I guess that's something superstitious, but I don't have too many. Just try to stick to a routine, and that's kind of what I base myself off of.
So nothing about jumping over the chalk? It's all right to step on the line, going to the dugout?
I try not to do that, but I'm not real superstitious about it. I think chewing gum is probably the thing. I have to chew gum when I pitch.
If you continue to pitch the way you are, and hopefully you will, after the season there may be a decision to be made because more than likely you're going to be a pretty decently high drafted player. What will that be like, talking with your pop about possibly going pro or staying for his senior season at Memphis?
He supports my decision 100%. He knows that my whole life I've wanted to play, Major League Baseball. But if that opportunity was to come around, he'd be behind me 100%. So.
How far do you think this team can go this year?
With our pitching and defense and the way we're playing offense this year, we can go a long way. We just got to, take it one game at a time like we have been, and keep doing the things we've been doing.
You've had great competition in Conference USA, and it continues this year. Next year, though, it's a move to the American Athletic Conference.
Right.
Some of the teams will be the same, but there'll be some new teams as well, so new challenges.
Right, it'll be interesting. A lot more travel. That might be a little tougher on us, but looking forward for, if I'm back next year to, see the different cities we're going to be going to and the different teams we'll be playing.
Eric, thank you so much. Continued success, and we look forward to watching you pitch.
Thank you very much.
And one last thing, congratulations to Grizzlies center Marc Gasol, who just yesterday was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. And that'll do it for this week's program. Remember, you can see any of our previous shows by heading to our website, WKNO.org, and clicking on KNO Tonight. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.